Welcome to this week's episode of my GLP-1 Weight Loss Journey. It's been a few weeks since I've checked in, and I'm sorry about that, but it does mean I have a lot more to discuss because a lot did happen relating to the GLP-1 drugs. So about 3 weeks ago, I had switched providers about 2 months ago to someone much less cheaper. And I'll put all the details in the post on the website and in the email I'm sending out with a referral link. So I hope you don't mind, but if anyone is interested, if you use my referral link, I get $50 off and you get $50 off. So I think that's a fair way. I'm not trying to take advantage of anyone, but I am doing fairly well with them. And if anyone has any questions about either of the providers I've used, reach out via email or social media, and I will. I'm happy to discuss with anyone. So I'm currently using Orderly Meds, and it's $249 a month. So they upped it to 2.0. So I was on 1.5. And that's what I was on, I think, when I was with the previous provider, Roman, but their website's ro.co, that went to the next step up to maybe 1.7, I thought maybe, but they're saying 1.5. I don't know. It's working for me anyway. So they went up to 2.0, and I did the shot on a Thursday. I normally do it on a Wednesday, but for some reason I didn't do it on that Wednesday. I did it on a Thursday. Then I didn't eat much for dinner. I was really busy that day. I probably had some business event, and then I was going out to karaoke, and I had a drink, which some people can't drink at all with these. And I hadn't been drinking much anyway because I'm not eating a lot. But I had a drink, and I was at karaoke. Something real stressful came up, which I'll talk about maybe later under my mindset episode portion of this video, and felt really sick to my stomach. So I left. And then for like 2 days, I felt really sick to my stomach. So sometimes these drugs can make people feel very nauseous. And I was experiencing some nausea off and on. I found that if I watched what I ate and I was eating foods that didn't bother me otherwise, like something very greasy or very heavy, that I was doing fine. And if my stomach was too empty, I'd feel nauseous. And if it was too full, I'd feel nauseous. So that is part of how these work, I think, because it seems like everybody's having these types of issues. So if I was watching what I was eating, I was fine. So whether that just all those things like coming together made me feel really sick, but also it may have been that it was just that 2.0 dose. So the following week, I was going to Orlando for the Turn Up conference, and I could not be sick or tired because I was finding I was feeling quite tired too. So I wasn't sure what to do about taking the next dose, whether I should just skip a dose. I thought about skipping. I mentioned it on the for a couple of Facebook groups that I used, and some people were like, yeah, fine, skip a dose, no problem, I've done it, I'm on vacation. Other people are like, oh no, you're gonna gain all your weight back, you're gonna have cravings and all this stuff. So it's like when you're hearing like the exact opposite, it's kind of hard to know what to do. And I was kind of gonna skip a dose, but then I have a friend that had used these before, and he said, no, just go back to your old dose. And I'm like, that makes sense. So I did that the day before I left, and actually I felt pretty good so I was at the Turn Up conference, and then I arrived on the Wednesday, and it was just like very, very active, like, shared a ride with some other women from Ohio from the airport to the hotel. And then that night we went to do a fitness class with a guy, Big Kid Rick, which was a lot of fun. It was packed. It was hot. We were all sweaty. So it's like, and then it's so hot in Florida, and then everything's air conditioned. It's hard because you're going in and out of the air conditioning, but and doing that for like a couple of days of the conference, by Friday night I was starting to get a bit of a scratchy throat. So and my sinuses were starting to bother me some. So I got some OJ, thinking I was taking Emergency on Saturday because I was just feeling so sick by Saturday. And I was thinking it was the going in and out of the the AC, trying to get that just right. And then you're like hot and sweaty after working out, wearing very skimpy clothing. So was really sick, flew home Sunday with a sinus infection. So my ears were killing me. It was bad. I couldn't eat. I bought, I was so hungry and I wanted something really nice and juicy, right? Because my autoimmune means that I have extreme dry mouth. So I wanted something really juicy, and there was a Five Guys in DC in Reagan Airport. So I bought a burger. I forgot to get a little burger. So the thought of the two huge burger, I just looked at it. I couldn't even take a bite. I felt just, ugh. I had a few fries. I loved their fries. And I threw it out. I can't believe I threw a whole burger out. So I'm thinking, oh no, is this these drugs? Am I going to have to go off of them? Because I got to live, right? Like I'm enjoying the weight loss success, and I'll talk about that in a minute too. But I was like, oh no, like, so, but the next day I was chatting with somebody about how sick I felt, and she said, did you take a COVID test? And I'm like, oh yeah, I meant to do that. Guess what? I had COVID for the first time ever. Like I've made it all this time without getting COVID. So I was relieved that that sickness was not the GLP-1 drugs, but it's COVID. So I've been dealing with that all week. So thus how I look, right? So no, I did shower today, and washed my hair, even though I'm trying to keep the pink in as long as possible. Because I have just been so happy with the results. So I started on February 2nd. February 23rd, my weigh-in was 180 pounds. And that's where I'd kind of been for a while, up between 175, 180 for months. Months could not get below 170. Got the hiccups now. And as of Wednesday, I weighed myself on the day that I take my shot, I weighed 151.8. So I was like so happy. The past couple weeks, I've been coming down in the 150s. Eating, I'm not eating much. I'm eating enough though. I'm feeling like I'm eating enough, and I'm having some treats here and there, and I'm eating what's good for my autoimmune, so low FODMAPs. And if you don't know about low FODMAPs, there is another post that's a lot about the FODMAPs and how I watch what I eat through that. It keeps the inflammation down. And one of my joyous moments was my shorts were literally falling off of me. So I had a few pair of shorts, because I was out mowing the lawn, whatever. And I had some that I knew were big because I'd had them for a really long time. And those were the ones I would normally use for yard work, because I don't care if they got all dirty and stained and all. But then some of the other shorts that I had were falling off of me. And with shorts, there's not a lot to keep them up, right? So I went to American Eagle, and I figured I might be a 14, maybe a 12. Turns out I was a 10, and even those weren't tight. So I was so excited that, like, I remember it wasn't all that long ago I was getting 20, and now I'm in a 10, and I feel like I'm moving on down to, my goal weight, which is 130 or 140. I'm going to wait and see how I feel actually when I get to like closer to that time, to see if maybe 140 is good for me. We'll just see how it is. And that I'm wearing a baggy t-shirt today, but I'm wearing mediums t-shirts now because I like them kind of form-fitting. Tops, sometimes a large, because it's funny because I lost around the barrel, the band size I'm down to 38. But the boob size didn't. lose, which is good, but one TMI maybe, but they seem a lot more droopy because there's no fat under there to keep them up. It's so funny. Same thing in my belly. I did have a lot of skin and that apron belly people talk about already. And that was one thing I was really trying to work on when I started working out a couple of years ago. I had gone to a plastic surgeon and got a consultation when when my divorce was going final and I was getting my settlement. I was considering getting a tummy tuck. And the price was one thing, but the 2 weeks of recuperation without somebody really to take care of me was not feasible for me anyway. But and he said even he didn't think 130 was feasible for someone my age, that 140 pounds would probably be better. But when he knows how to like pull you up to show you like what you would look like when you had your tummy tuck. And I was like, oh, that would be so good. But I started working out. I started working with personal trainer Nicole Roth, who's down in Wilton. And she was great. And she had me doing lots of different core exercises and some weights. But I really enjoyed doing the Zumba, and now my dance fitness journey. So, I mean, that was been so good for the cardio. And so I got together some of my own set of core exercises because my core was just never very well developed. I started going to a chiropractor when I was having trouble for my back, and he was giving me some exercises. And now I'm working with a pelvic health specialist because I was having some bladder incontinence issues. And actually just a few bit of breathing exercise and some exercises she's given me are good, but also the fact that she's showing me how the pelvic floor, right, and the pelvic area is stacked right on top of what is considered our core, right, and how important it is to keep all of them strong. So, and that the pelvic floor then is connected to your glutes and your hamstrings and the front of your thighs, and that keeping those all strong and stacked just makes you so much stronger overall. So besides the benefit of that and the benefit of it sexually, working with her has been really helpful for me. So back to, what was I talking about? The exercise. Oh, the belly. So some people say that all you can do for it is plastic surgery. There's all sorts of other miracle drugs and procedures and things that some people mention them, and then you wonder, are they really genuine, or are they trying to sell this to you, like cool sculpting, creams and things. Like I buy these firming lotions and use them every day, and I know that the lotion helps the look of it, but whether or not it actually firms it up, the core exercises had caused. So even before I started losing weight like this, the core exercises were helping to lift it up a bit. So that was useful for me, right? And then now with losing weight, but now I look at it and it kind of looks worse in some ways because I've got more loose skin because of the lost weight. So, but I'm wearing a size 10 pants, and that's even with the extra belly there. So without that, it would be so nice. But I'm a 60-year-old woman. I've had 3 children. I was quite large with the kids. I've got that kind of skin that's not very snap back, very, what is it? What do you call it? Tissuey. Fair skin, probably not the best to endure a lot of stress on it. So, I'm not overly concerned about it. I'm enjoying the loss of the back fat. It was funny, I was dating somebody, and for some reason he was trying to pinch my back fat, right? And people do that, and I used to have people do that to me all the time, and he couldn't get any. So that's a good NSV. You can't pinch my back fat. There ain't no back fat to pinch. So that that was a good one. So real happy, bought some new turn up merch. I got this really cute tracksuit. You had to buy the bottoms, and I'm like, oh, because tracksuit bottoms, they're so long on me because I'm so short. And I thought I'd have to get a large, but actually a medium fit, and they weren't so long. So all of these good things are happening for me, and I'm feeling good. And the one I don't have the video yet. I'm waiting for my friend that video to send me. For at the Turn Up conference, the first session was instructors. So the first 100 instructors that registered for conference were invited to lead a song in this session. So they picked 100 and they put us in groups of like or five or six, and we had each had a song assigned that we needed to lead the group. So our captain was Dina, who's a member of the main Turnup team. So she's been doing Turnup for a while, and she had a great idea. So our song was Big Old Freak by Megan Thee Stallion, our new favorite hip hop artist. We're doing a lot of Megan Thee Stallion songs lately. And you may have seen I posted Donna, one of the women that comes to my class, and I doing Some Big Old Freak because I needed to learn it before I went to class. It was lucky they let us know which song we were doing, which they normally don't give us much advance notice, but I was able to work on it before I went to conference. And so I volunteered to be the Big Old Freak because it was supposed to be like we're doing Big Old Freak School. And I stripped. So I wore a tracksuit all day long and a cap. I had my hair up, my pink hair up in a cap, and a tracksuit with it zipped up to my neck all day long. I wore it up until this class. And then during the number, I was behind the others and pretending like I was kind of struggling with getting it. And then all of a sudden, I'm strip off. I went barefoot so I could strip off the pants. I had cargo pants on, and then pull to the front and unzip my jacket. And I had Big Old Freak written across my belly in glow because it was glow themed. So I had a neon yellow sports bra, and I had medium size, this really cute kind of metallic-y blue pinky sports shorts on, and I was the Big Old Freak, and people went crazy. Like it was a good moment of the conference. And I danced and I shook my boobs and my butt, and that's Turn Up for you. So I'm not a great dancer, but I have lots of enthusiasm, and I'll put myself out there for my team. And then one of the next themes was the cowgirl. You may have seen. I got a really nice reaction. I mean, people were just so wonderful, commenting on how good I looked, and in my red carpet dress and everything. So that's one of the things that's just amazing about Turn Up, is that the people are just so supportive and just wonderful and loving, and that has been a really big thing towards making me feel so good about myself. So this is running on a bit, so I'm not going to get into the mindset stuff. I'm going to be doing more of the mindset stuff under Raising Your Voice, which is a new program I'm starting this month. I've talked about it, I think, most of the past few weeks. So I'll put more in the email and in the post on the website about Raising Your Voice. So I'm really happy with the progress that I'm getting from the GLP-1 drugs. I'm keeping in touch with my healthcare people, and like with Orderly Meds, they're online people. Like you text them. Like I texted them about changing down to the lower dose, and then they came back within 24 hours to reply about, yeah, that's what we would tell you to do, kind of thing. But also, like, all of my healthcare providers locally know that I'm on these drugs, and I feel like I could go to them. So I know some people are concerned about the health risks of these drugs. To me, like I went to see my nephrologist, because there had been some concerns about maybe my autoimmune is affecting my kidneys. But the um, um, biopsy that they did in December showed nothing, just normal kind of wear and tear. I think she said a little bit of from the autoimmune maybe, but nothing to be concerned about. But she wants to keep an eye on me. So, but the labs were so much better. Like, she was so happy. She's the one that said you need to go on these drugs. She was so pleased with my blood test results versus December to now. Um, Regarding almost just about everything, that, having lost this weight. And she thinks I'm probably at a good weight now, but I feel like I do want to lose a little bit more. And like, I just look down at myself. I'm like, oh, look, my wrist looks thin, my legs, just happy, feeling good, apart from having COVID. And I'm feeling a bit better today, luckily. Maybe the shower helped. Yesterday I felt really crappy, but so hopefully once the COVID is cleared and allergies have cleared, and then I'll have a better picture of how I really feel at this weight and on these drugs. So again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to discuss and to, whether what's something that I've researched or something that I've experienced myself. If you're considering this, I've had a few people reach out to me, said they may have been thinking about it. I'm happy to have a chat. So thank you for listening, and I'll try to check in another week.